I'm beaming my love to you. I guess I should do this. I'm beaming my wisdom to you. A cigarette. Spirit said cigarette. Hello, collective. I love you. I'm so tired today, but I had to get a message out. This freaking messages was in my head all day. I was baking up a storm and I couldn't get this message out of my head. And I came home. I said, well, if it's still nagging at me when I come home, then I gotta answer the call. And I'm here as the messenger of God, of holy divine guidance, here to impart wisdom and knowledge for those going into the shift of consciousness. It's me, Patience, your favorite psychic spirit medium, host of Spirit News on Spotify, a podcast where we teach you that you are a non physical entity having a human experience. You are not human, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And we teach you that on Spirit News. But here on the YouTubes, we are developing our psychic abilities that we've had since we were a child with our very own spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle. That's my spirit team. That's what I've named them. That's what I call them. That is the name that was given to me. Well, I see that's the thing. I don't know if I made it up or if it was guided to me. Either way, it fits them, it fits, and I love it. So, we are here with another collective read. We're using this platform to train ourselves and our psychic abilities to learn how to read energy so we can empower ourselves and our psychic gift. We believe here at Spirit News that everybody's psychic, everybody is psychic, everybody's had an intuitive hit, everybody's had a moment where they knew someone was going to call or they shouldn't hang out with someone or a certain job was not going to be going well. Hi, Alvin. Thank you for being here. So we believe, hi, Kushi, Kushi, Kushi Patel. Thank you so much for being here. We're so grateful for the likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. We're so happy for the support. We love you so much, and we believe everyone is psychic. We believe you're psychic. We're here showing you how we read energy, not for you to do it like us, but to show you that it can be done. Your non physical energy is what we have labeled as a society as psychic. That is your non physical energy, is the psychic part of yourself. And love you. And so we believe that anyone can tap into it. It's not something that is just for certain people, but you have to get to a certain level of awareness of yourself and you have to get recipe. Spirit said recipe. Yeah, you gotta formulate the recipe of healing. You have to get to a certain level of healing. So I'm quiet. How about this? Is this better? Let me know if you can hear me now. On this microphone, I can't tell if I'm turning it up or down. It doesn't say on it. So
Incorrect.
so thank you, Jason. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. Good, very good. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, this microphone doesn't have a volume. It doesn't say, so I digress. What was I saying? So we believe everyone's psychic, everyone has the ability, but you have to clear your field to 144,000 hertz to be able to discern energy. We have made a spiritually guided podcast episode, our latest one, about the art of discernment and tips and techniques that we have been given through the help of our very own spirit team, that help us know discernment for energy. And we've been, oh, I'm so sorry you lost your dad. Well, it's a better way to say that my dad transitioned to the other side, because what I'm learning as a spirit medium is the energy of believing that you, or the verbiage you use, or the belief that you've lost a loved one, or people say I lost my loved one or my loved one died, or it's very like final. It's very we put a like a finality to it, but really you can't die. Energy cannot die. So even though they're not here in physical form in a vessel, they cannot die. They're with you all the time. And I talk to my grandma all the time. My grandma's been helping me through this whole development of my psychic abilities. My psychic abilities were passed down to me from my ancestors. because I had cleared my generational curses, and so they gave me the gift of discernment, which everybody has, but they're teaching me how to use it. So, oh, I love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you. So a better way when a loved one passes over is to say they transitioned or they've gone home, or I like to say is really cute, or they've passed over. And then that way you're keeping the channel open in your awareness and in your energy, that you are still able to connect with their energy. Because when you say I lost them, that's an energy, that's a thought, that's something that you're putting out that is disconnecting you from their energy because your belief is that you lost them. So that's something that Spirit has sent, that was shared with me. In a sense, the persona ego that lived here with died, but who they are beyond. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Because we come here to have a limited experience. We're eternal. We cannot die energetically. We are frequency and vibration, a photonic ball of light, of electricity, I guess. Spirit says electricity, breath, and vibration is kind of like what we're made out of. And we come here and to have a physical temporary experience on purpose, because it's one of the greatest places to come for soul growth, for soul development. And what Spirit always shows me is I'm gonna cry talking about it because it's really beautiful, and it's funny the way they showed it to me. But when you're a soul and you're a non-physical soul, you'll be around, like they show a table on a spaceship, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy they show me, to show me what it's like. It doesn't have to be just like that, but just in my experience, this is how they conveyed it. And you're sitting around the table with your crewmates, with your other soul family, and you're talking about how you're going to live this incarnation, like what you're gonna do, what you're gonna encounter, what you know need to work on from your last experience, or if this is your first time, you know, you're working out your incarnation in theory. So when you come down into the simulation, you act out your like blueprint of kind of like what you want to experience. And you know, but we have to forget, because if we remembered that that's how it is, then it wouldn't be as fun, because then we don't know all the answers, you know? So it's like the whole point is to come here to see how long it takes us to come back to remembering who we actually are, and who made us and what we're made of. And it's supposed to be fun. You know, I just made a post that it's supposed to be fun. Spirit always says it's supposed to be fun. So, are you from Barbados? No, I'm not from Barbados. I've been trying like hell to talk to him. Well, you know, if you want to talk to him, sometimes the best way to talk to him is to not try at all. When you're like washing the dishes or doing something really like, you know, mundane, and when you're not overthinking it, because as soon as your thoughts come into play, because what we're learning while reading emotion or energy is that you're really using your emotions and your imagination and your body as a way to discern the subtle energy that spirit is always communicating with. And that's why that's why we don't use tarot cards here. I mean, we do sometimes, but we're really called to use like books and game cards and stuff, because we want to show you that energy is everything. So spirit can speak to you in any way they want to. It's in everything. It could be in a song, in a TV show, in a billboard, in us, in someone passing by, on a sign, on a, you know, on a pickle jar. You know, it's can be anything, but you have to be in a mode of receptivity. If you're thinking about what's going to come in, constantly trying hard as hell, what you're doing is saying that you're not doing it. And so it's really just about surrendering and letting go of an expectation of how it comes to you. If you want to hear him directly, a great thing to do is to or the spirit taught this to me. You don't have to do it, but this is something that I've utilized that kind of works to understand how you receive messages, is to write a letter to them. Like, and then you talk, like, you could ask them a question, but write it down. Like, how are you feeling up there? Or what's it like on the other side? Whatever questions you want to ask. It could even be very personal, like, did you have pain when you passed, or whatever. And then you be the answer, as if you were them answering your question. And it might feel funny at first because you're like, well, I don't want to impose like what I would say into what they would say. But the point is for you to surrender. It's for you, allow you to like let go of a expected outcome. And then that way, when you're asking the question to your loved one who's passed on, um, if you allow yourself to answer the question, it's really going to be their energy answering the question. I know it's like, what? That sounds weird, but you should try it. Just a suggestion. That's just something Spirit has taught me. Anyway, I don't know why that's I'm so happy we shared that. That was excellent information. Thank you so much. You can't hear him if you're minding. Yes, exactly. And you have to remember that a lot of the time what I find is that humans expect it to be like the movies, like this aha. Yes, person, recalibrate. You have to recalibrate your expectation of how the information comes. Oh my gosh, I almost had a croissant today. I work in a bakery and I wanted a croissant so bad, but I said no. I love croissants. Anyway, so you have to you have to see, that's just the way Spirit confirmed to me that they were listening to me. But you have to be open to the way they communicate with you. If you're expecting this aha moment where it's like so clear and defined and you see them and you hear them, that might be like a little very unrealistic, because first and foremost, energy is subtle. So you have to get yourself to a vibration or a receptivity of subtleness. And the best way to do that is to be quiet, to really like go into a place of quietness. A lot of people feel uncomfortable being in silence, but that's the best way to learn how spirit speaks to you, or how you can hear them, or like I'm starting to get more clairaudient, and I do hear things randomly when I'm not trying to hear them. But for the most part, spirit gives me messages in what they have called thought blocks. And so it's just like they drop a block of energy with the full complete sentence or thought or idea or what they're trying to message. Like it just drops in my head and I just know it, and that's clairsentience. And so that's one of the clairs that I'm developing, but you have to trust the information you're getting. So you know what, I don't know if you're gonna keep saying that. I'm gonna get you out of here. Spirit just said ugly. If you're not gonna behave, I'm gonna get you out of here. But if you want to stay for the heels and the feels, you can stay. But if you're gonna be naughty, I'm gonna get you out, okay? So anyway, let's get on with the reading. I'm glad we shared that. So what we know is energy is fluid. It can be past, present, or future. And I did pull a couple cards, and then Spirit had said spells. And I pulled out the moon. I know, but I like to give people a chance to do the right thing. I know I can block them, but I give them a chance to do the right thing, to, not be low vibrational, to give them a chance to change, because it is a choice. And if they continue, then I will block them. Everyone deserves a second chance. So I pulled the moon card. There's a new moon, there's a full moon, and sometimes there's a man in the moon. Isn't there a song called Do You Remember They put a man on the moon. Hold on, let me look that up. I'm getting called to look the lyrics up. Man on the Moon lyrics. REM. Rapid eye movement. Something about dreaming and the moon? Jump. Spirit said jump. REM is rapid eye movement. So something about dreaming and the moon. There may be a person who uses the new moon and the full moon to do something to someone's dreams. Okay, let's see. Mott, the Hoople, and the Game of Life. Andy Kaufman in the wrestling match. Monopoly 21, checkers and chess. Mr. Fred Blassie in a breakfast mess. Let's play Twister, let's play Risk. I'll see you in heaven if you make the list. Now, Andy, did you hear about this one? Tell me, are you locked in the punch? Andy, are you goofing on Elvis? Are we losing touch? If you believe they put a man on the moon, if you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, then nothing is cool. What? Moses went walking with the staff of wood. Newton got beamed by the apple good. Egypt was troubled by the horrible asp?
Probably.
Probably, Spirit says. Mr. Charles Darwin had the gall to ask. Moses, Newton, Egypt, and Darwin. Moses, Newton, Egypt, and Darwin. Huh. Okay. Spirit, tell me if I'm wrong. So somebody was playing a game, or they believed something about the moon. They believed they had some kind of, they thought it was cool. They thought they believed they had something up their sleeve about doing something with the moon. Here's a little, all these ads. Here's a little agate for the never believer. Here's a little ghost for the offering. He's a truck stop instead of St. Peter. Spirit. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. It's not hilarious. I'm not laughing at this person, but there could possibly be maybe a truck driver's involved, or it could be metaphorical because Spirit does speak in symbols and metaphors.
Recovers.
There is somebody who Spirit is saying is truck stop trash or a truck driver who is not a saint, and they may have did something because they thought it would make them look cool with something that they didn't believe in about moon cycles. Okay, something about moon cycles and Moses, and something about God, because God talked to Moses with the 10 Commandments. Newton, which one was gravity? Who discovered gravity? Newton was physics, Darwin was gravity, and Egypt was troubled by the Egyptian priests were punished by God. So somebody is experiencing heavy gravity. Newton was gravity and Darwin was physics. somebody didn't believe in something very spiritual. Okay, they were dibble dabbling in something that they thought would make them cool. Confirmation with a light flicker, but because they didn't believe in that stuff. They thought it would be fun. They thought it would be funny, but now they're losing
behind.
touch. Behind, yeah, now they're losing touch because now nothing they do is cool. And what they thought they had up their sleeve is making them lose touch. Because poop emojis, they stink. Evolution, thank you. Thank you. And it was like, I couldn't remember what it was. Even evolution applies here because this person was trying to defy gravity. They were do see, this is the thing. They were doing something spiritual because they thought it would make them cool, but they don't believe in spirituality. They don't believe in religion. They're just like an atheist or something. Okay? They do things that are spiritual, but they don't believe in it. Andy, are you goofing on Elvis? They thought they were being cool. They only did it for the clout. They didn't do it because they believed in it and they thought it would, you know, they because they stink. They're trash. They're just doing things to be cool. Thank you. I knew it was something. Theory of evolution and shit. Yeah, thank you. Darwin just noticed that birds have different beaks. What are we talking about right now? Well, you don't have to be here, Brandy. You can stay if you want to, but we're just figuring out. We're just picking up the first clue. So I don't know what we're talking about yet. We're talking about someone who made dibble dabble with the moon cycles, but they weren't doing it because
Threads.
they weren't doing it because they're respectful of the practice of spirituality. They're doing it because they thought it would make them look cool. But there's something about there's something that's hit them hard. Newton got beamed by the apple good. Something because they had Mr. Charles Darwin had the gall to
Definitely.
ask because definitely because they had the gall to disrespect God because there's Moses here. They disrespected God in some way. Okay. And I got poop emojis, they stink. So Spirit is mad at this person. Tell me more. Thank you so much. And REM sings this song, If You Believe There's a Man on the Moon. And this says that there's a man in the moon. So something they were doing on new moon cycles and full moon cycles, or it could be a feminine in their masculine energy, like trying to be very like dominating, trying to control something, an outcome. Slippery and weird. Slippery and weird. They thought that they could get away with this. They thought that they were being slick. But they thought they were being slick because they were
Cigarette.
being mysterious, but they're really odd and weird. Cigarette, Spirit said cigarette twice. They could smoke cigarettes, or they're getting burned like a cigarette. Burned at both sides, I heard. Because they were disrespecting spiritual practices to be cool. And they may have caused some kind of disruption or imbalance because they stink. Why did they cut? They were doing it because they thought it was making them look mysterious, and they were being really sneaky about it. Slippery, slick, sliding. Now they're on. Now they're sliding around because they're out of control now, but they thought they were being slick. They've encountered some kind of hiccup. You can hold your breath, drink some water, or boo! Did that scare them away? And this says, here's a little ghost for the offering. They may have conjured up something on a new moon, on a new or full moon cycle. They may have conjured up some kind of ghost or something. What did they conjure up? What is this ghost and boo? Something that's scaring them. Motorcycles. Feel the wind on your helmet. This person may drive a motorcycle. Spirit said, oh, they might have an accident on a motorcycle. Hippos, hippopotamus. Hippos are also called river horses and only eat plants. This person could be a vegetarian or a vegan that was doing something on moon cycles that may have disrespected Holy Divine Spirit or spiritual practices. Brains all in your head. This says here's a truck stop instead of St. Peter's. And this has brains all in your head under the moon. They may have thought that they had some kind of power, but it was all in their head.
I am not going.
Spirit said, I'm not going. It was all in their head, but they wouldn't stop doing it. They got real cozy doing it and got into some kind of sticky situation. They became too comfortable being shitty. Now this being negative, doing something negative with the moon cycles, they got too comfortable. Now there's no running. Now there's no running from this weird, slippery situation they've gotten themselves into because they have a hiccup. They may have conjured up something that may be possibly running them over, or maybe, yeah, running them over because they... I don't know anything about spells or moon magic or magic at all. I don't do magic, okay? But what I'm learning is that whenever you do divination or any kind of ritual or spiritual spell or whatever this is, what I'm learning is if you do not clear your field, at a if you're not at a healed place or a place of heart consciousness where you love yourself, where you have compassion for others, where you treat others kindly, where you have a high moral compass, where you have a clear field to have self-awareness. When you're in a low vibration and you're doing these spiritual practices with the level of vibration you're at, you will attract what you vibrate at. And so if you're doing rituals, spells, and because you think it's cool and you don't understand the energy part of it, you will attract what you're vibrating at. And so this person who essentially started doing this to be cool in some kind of group setting, this person could potentially be a vegan or eat vegetables. They live in toxicity. They have a toxic, low vibrational stance, energetic stance, and they were doing these spells or rituals during the moon cycles, which is like, that's powerful stuff. I don't think this person really thought that far ahead. I think this person is very impulsive. This person could possibly get themselves in multiple situations that are very dramatic or very, low vibrational. And so that's the vibrational stance they had when they were operating these new and full moon cycles. For what? I don't know yet. Okay. But now, but because they were in a negative low vibration, and they kept doing it. It says they got cozy and comfortable operating in this poop, in this poop emoji, in this stinky low vibration. And that's when they would go do the rituals. So also what we're learning is if you're in a low vibration and you're doing substances to cope, your alcohol, drugs, and you're doing um, these low vibrational spiritual practices, and you think, and you're doing them because you think it makes you look cool, like you will be inviting whatever you're vibrating at to come into your field, and you will not have the discernment to know what spirit or what energy you're attracting or communing with. That's why we say do not do divination, do not look up spells on Google, don't be a kitchen witch, don't be a Google witch, because this isn't, most people are not in a place of healing if they're trying to do spells or energy manipulation of any kind. And especially if you're just doing it to be cool, you don't even have like an intention or a reason, you just want to look cool on the outside. Okay? So, yes, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that God doesn't need you to do rituals under the moon or to do things like that to honor him. What he
Vessel.
what vessel, Spirit said vessel. What God, or what I'm learning, is what Holy Divine Spirit requires is your gratitude, is your ability to have self-discipline, have self-control, to be self-aware of how you come show up to the world, and to not do substances or need to cope in those ways, to cope in other ways by meditating, by asking God for help. So this person, what I'm saying is, this person thought everything that they thought they were doing that was making them cool was really just an illusion. They were in an illusion, because what they actually did is walk a slippery slope, because they were being weird about being something they did over and over again, because they were addicted to the attention they got from it. Okay, now they're being run over, and they're receiving some kind of hiccup in what they were doing, because that was all in their head, because they may possibly be experiencing some kind of something supernatural, or whatever they were inviting in the vibration they had is now stuck to them, or there's no running from it. There's something, some kind of hiccup. Please tell me more about this hiccup. What is this hiccup? Sticky, sticky and cozy again. All right, let me get two more cards so I know. Flat and surprising reversed. Amazing and busy. So something surprising happened, something they didn't see coming, something that was unexpected, something that has flattened this person down to the ground, something that has this person on their back. Spirit, there's flat under motorcycle. I don't know if this person's going to have some kind of surprise ending or something. Possibly like an accident, or like something with a motorcycle, or something with a moving vehicle. Find the wind on your helmet. Some kind of surprise ending that's going to amaze everybody, and they're gonna,
Wraith.
it's gonna, wraith. Spirit just said wraith. Oh no, I think this person has a wraith on them. Let me just look up wraith, so I'm sure this person was messing around with stuff they don't even believe in, and they may have gotten a wraith. A ghost-like image of someone, especially one seen shortly before or after their death. Yeah. This person, once this person passes or transitions, it's going to be a surprise to everyone. Everyone's going to find out what they were busy doing because they kept doing something every single moon cycle. There's a new moon and a full moon. They kept doing something every single moon cycle because they thought in their head that something was working. Wow. We'll find out. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll find out. Yeah, when you clear your field and you operate in more divine energy, you don't need to do spells, and you will be protected from spells because your energy will match more of the divine energy.
1970s.
Someone who doesn't have authority to even perform these spells. This person's not ordained. This person does not have spiritual authority to be performing such high level spells that they were doing. And I don't even want to say high level. I mean, any spell that you're doing to, I don't know, let me find out why they were doing it. Other than being cool, why do they keep doing these spells over and over again? Believing is seeing. They kept doing them because they couldn't believe something that they were seeing. What couldn't they believe? Something about someone who with authority.
It's attached to you.
Perseverance. Yeah, they kept somebody who has gifts. Somebody who had no problem withstanding the power of their mind. Someone with patience who can reach mountaintops that never gives up. And good luck follows them wherever they go. They were emotional about somebody who has gifts. They didn't believe that somebody has gifts. They looked at somebody who has gifts as somebody who doesn't have a true authority and isn't powerful, that isn't wise and loving. But that's this person. It's all in their head. This
Condolence.
condolence. What's condolence? Spirit just said condolence. Let me look it up. Condolence?
Here's the definition of condolence: an expression of sympathy, especially on the occasion of a death.
I told you this person's gonna pass over. Wraith and condolences. The necrometer said condolence, so I was like, that sounded weird. This person's gonna pass over because they refuse to believe that somebody who has gifts, who has good luck, who never gives up, who has a powerful mind, didn't have authority. So they kept doing something over and over again because they couldn't believe it. Believing is seeing. Why couldn't they believe it? Why couldn't they believe it? What does it matter? Why couldn't they believe it? Spirit said, right, yeah, what does it matter? Dog in reverse. Someone who wasn't your friend. This could have been your friend. Someone who is supposed to protect you and love you without conditions. Or you may have been a friend.
Open door.
Someone who... Open door. Someone you may have been very giving to. Someone you may have loved unconditionally.
1960s.
Who you protected. Who you showed enthusiasm for. But they weren't your friend. They couldn't believe that you had gifts. So they kept doing something during the moon cycles to prove or something. They wanted to prove that it wasn't true. Integration. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I got a download about integration at work yesterday, and reward yourself in perfect timing in reverse. Yeah. What Spirit has told me, and we're going to make a Spirit news about this. When you are doing, when you're walking a spiritual path and you're doing spiritual things, this person's doing rituals and stuff and tapping into other energies, maybe not the best energies, but still tapping into other energies and doing something with dream moon and dream cycles. They're practicing some kind of spiritual practice, okay? Even if it's not high vibrational, they're still doing it, okay? What Spirit is teaching me is that if you're not integrating, because how it works is when you're healing, it's not a straight line and it's not a straight ascent. It's like this. And at the top, once you get to a low part, you encounter a shadow aspect of yourself, and you're supposed to process that shadow, take responsibility for the actions that you've taken in that shadow, and then you integrate it into your life. So integration in reverse will look like, if you get triggered, you actually become consciously aware of the trigger, and you don't have the same reaction that you normally would when you get triggered again, and you change your reaction because you're becoming self-aware that when this happens, this triggers me. You've encountered a shadow, you've processed the shadow, now that shadow can't bother you anymore. It doesn't have the same effect on you. And then so you'll experience random things in your life or people that will trigger that emotion, so you can practice having a different emotional response, so you're not reactive. And that's integration. When you're integrating the new thought forms into your life, and when you are integrating your shadow into your light side, you're integrating shadow and light together. But if you're practicing spiritual practices and you're not doing the integration part, you become like a wobble. You get a wobble in your energy, and you start to act more in your shadow side because it's amplifying, or it's making your shadow bigger so you can heal it. So because it's like, when you're not integrating the shadow and you're doing high spiritual practices, but you're not integrating the shadow, it makes you like a wibble wobble. It's hard to explain. It's like, it makes your crown chakra really active, but then your root chakra like shrink up. And so you're kind of like an upside down triangle instead of being like a torus field where it's like 2 points like this, like 2 points of a triangle. And so what happens is you're encountering lots of spiritual or not spiritual knowledge, and it can make your ego get really, really big, and you can start to think it's all in your head, that you're doing all this like magical stuff, and that you know everything, and that nobody can tell you anything, and it makes you very imbalanced. And that's what's happening with this person, but they don't know that. They're seeing somebody who has gifts, maybe they're on a spiritual path as well. And this person, because they're practicing, they may have started practicing spiritual stuff or doing this moon magic before this other person started their spiritual path. So it became like a competition, okay? It became some kind of competition. But the person they're projecting towards, who they can't believe has some kind of spiritual authority, because they're practicing spiritual practices but not integrating the shadow parts of themselves, the shadow has taken over them, and they think in their mind that this person who has spiritual authority is, I don't know, some kind of enemy or something.
13.
13. Oh, that's so funny. I have authority upside down and integration upside down, and it's a 1 and a 3, 13. They can't, because they started doing some kind of moon magic to be cool. Their friend started a spiritual path that was very different from theirs. They were doing this moon magic for a long time over and over again because they were jealous that their friend was
Justin.
was getting to some kind of spiritual place faster and better. I don't want to say better, but just different than them. So they were doing this over and over again to their friend who was on a spiritual path, but everything they threw at them, there wasn't ever a problem. They always withstood it. They had agree, spirit said agree. Yee! They kept withstanding whatever it was they kept doing on the moon cycles because their friend has a powerful mind and patience. With patience you can reach your mountaintop, and they never give up, and they have good luck. Confirmation. I don't do moon magic, so if you're gonna do moon magic, you can do it by yourself, because I don't do any kind of magic. I don't believe you should be doing energy manipulation. I'm all about positive, loving manifestations with the universe, creating with the universe. That's what I believe in. So, this person was trying to reward themselves, but it's in reverse. But they're impatient. They were trying to reward themselves, but they couldn't wait. So that's why they started projecting this. This is somebody who became in competition with somebody who is also on a spiritual path. This person has patience and they never give up. They do something the right way. They don't take shortcuts. Okay, this person took a shortcut and was seeing results in some shape or manner, but I don't know. Let me see. There's some kind of disconnect here with, they both were walking a hidden. Spirit said hidden. Yeah, there's something hidden here. Because now there's no doors open for this person. This person can't walk through any doors. They're experiencing delays. They procrastinate. They're not having any success or positive outcomes. And everyone who was with them isn't supporting them anymore. They aren't able to reward themselves and receive. They did this to reward themselves, but now they can't find any meaning. Body. Spirit said body. They may be experiencing something supernatural in their body. They could be waking up with cuts and scratches and something that happens in the dream state. They may leave their body in the dream state and get attacked by something supernatural consistently, because they kept doing something consistently at a high level without integrating their shadows. Now they could possibly be being attacked by some kind of supernatural something. Damn. You know, there's a lot of good examples of how this happened. We did a little mini essay on this a while back, but I'm going to do a bigger body of work about it because it's coming up, which is so awesome. Thank you, Spirit. Because, like, there's John of God on Netflix where he was a healer, but he was also a, pedo, So that's an example of John of God's an example of somebody who is practicing high spiritual practices, but not integrating their shadows. And so their shadow became so big that they had no self-control. They had no discipline, and it overcame them, and it eventually, was their ruin. Another example of that is Orgasm Inc. She was doing sex magic, but she didn't realize or understand what she was doing. So she understood like the spiritual concepts of,
Dust.
Dust Spirit said she understood spiritual concepts, but she was using sexual energy to manifest or to manipulate energy. And because she didn't integrate her shadow, her shadows while she was doing it, it overcame her, and she became greedy, and she became very controlling. And so these are just, or like the Bikram yoga. Again, he stole those yogic practices, brought them to America, pretended to create them, when really he stole them, and he was doing it every day. He was doing those yoga practices every day, which yoga is a way to house more light in your body. And so he was doing that over and over again every day, but not integrating his shadow, and his shadow overtook him, and he became a rapist, and so that's what's going on here. This person was doing spiritual practices
Wrong.
to be cool, yeah, for the wrong reasons. They're doing it for the wrong reasons. And then they met somebody or have a friend who started their spiritual path and became jealous. And so that spirit of jealousy, while doing these spiritual practices over and over again, amplified that shadow. So she could, I don't know if it's a she or he. It says man on the moon, so it could be a man. Oh my gosh. Somebody said, is this a woman or a robot? And Spirit said, robot. Oh. All right. Well, let's look up in the philosophy book. What else do you want us to know about this situation? Critique of pure reason. Critique of pure reason.
High on.
Baron Christian von Wolff, German mathematician, natural scientist, and above all, rationalist philosopher of the Enlightenment. Before submitting the thank you, Spirit. Before submitting the book to the public, and partly to the character of the matter, the nature of a pure speculative reason, for pure speculative reason has a true structure. In such a structure, everything is an organ. Drowning. Everything is there for the sake of each member, and each individual member is there for the sake of all.
You're right.
And hence, the slightest defect, whether it be a mistake or an omission, must inevitably betray itself when we use that plan or system. I hope, moreover, that this system will continue to maintain itself in this unchangeable state. What entitles me to this confidence is not self-conceit, but merely the fact that this unchangeable state of the system is evident from the following experiment. We obtain the same result whether we proceed from the minutest elements all the way to the whole of pure reason, or proceed backwards to each part when starting from the whole. For this whole is also given by itself, through reason's final aim in the practical sphere. Yeah, this person was practicing high spiritual concepts without being whole. And so what it did is it created a hole for them to, they were like a contradiction. They didn't believe in spirituality, yet they were addicted to doing spiritual things to somebody who's spiritual. They didn't connect the fact that their misunderstandings of the rituals they were doing were actually giving them sufficient evidence in the proof of what they were trying to understand. But yet they kept on misinterpreting the psychology of what they were doing, because they were overactive in their crown chakra, and so they were believing their own illusions about what they were doing, and they could not get a higher perspective that they didn't believe in spiritual practices, and yet they are doing something against spiritual law to somebody who's walking a spiritual path. But because they were speculative, they kept doing it anyway, because they became addicted to doing it, because they don't understand positive, because they don't understand energy. They had an overactive crown chakra because they were not integrating properly while also doing the spiritual practices. And it was evident from the experiment that they were doing that they were obtaining some kind of result. So they kept proceeding, even though it was the minutest result. They kept starting thinking that they would find more and more. And so they kept doing it because whoever they were doing it against gave them a reason to do it. Damn. They were trying to be transcendental. They wanted to have they wanted to understand what they were doing, but at the same time they couldn't believe what they were doing, because this person is somebody who's a skeptic. They have to, in order to believe it, they have to see it. But the thing is about spirituality and about God is that you have to be willing to not have hardcore proof or evidence to believe it. It's something that you feel in your heart. It's not something that's tangible or physical, because we are not physical, and even God is not physical. God is having a physical manifestation through us. And so you can't, in a human, with your human brain, have a concept of spirituality if you're looking, spiritual, not likely, if you're looking for physical evidence of it being true. Being spiritual is walking by faith, not by sight. And so you have to let go of the need to have hardcore evidence to make me believe that this is true. But yet you're, at the same time, you're practicing spiritual practices that have affected this person on an energetic level. And that is what spells and rituals are. They're energy manipulation. And if you're messing around with them because you don't believe, that's a disrespect to God. That's a disrespect to energy. And you're also creating lots of hiccups in your own energetic field, because not only do you not understand what you're doing, but you don't even believe in it. And so you're just doing it all willy-nilly, like there's no consequences. And so this person, because they kept doing it, thinking that if they kept doing it, maybe something will happen, but nothing's happening, so I'm just going to keep doing it. They're doing it to somebody that it couldn't be done to, because they're walking a spiritual path. When you walk the path of God, or if somebody is on a spiritual path and they're doing it the right way, and they're not taking shortcuts, they're not doing spells, they're not doing divination to cheat. They're actually meditating and taking care of their body, and they're overcoming addictions, and they're healing their wounds, and they're integrating. Then you cannot project these things to them. Nothing will work. And so something worked a little bit, it says minutely, and then they started projecting it to somebody that was walking a spiritual path, and then it wasn't working. 8-8. So they're like, well, let me just keep doing it, because something was happening, and if it's not going to keep happening, then I must be doing it wrong or something, but they didn't believe it in the first place. So now they have an overactive crown chakra. They're being haunted by something that they pulled through because it matched the energy that they were doing these rituals in. They became addicted. They have many addictions now because their crown chakra is so open and their root chakra is so closed off. They're literally like a upside down pyramid of energy. So it's just like this, it's just being sucked in through the crown chakra, their energy field, and if there's no flow, there's no they're not receiving any rewards, they're not having any doors open or opportunities, they're stuck in their thoughts, but their ego is so inflated that they're in their head all the time. They can't admit that they have a hiccup, that they messed up. This person could have some kind of superiority complex or something. They can't admit that they fucked up, okay? Oh, how can we help? How can we heal it? How can we help? Trust. Trust. Allow the divine to give you your deepest longings. Trust and know that the divine knows how to handle it. This person needs to let go of control. They think because they have an overactive crown chakra that they have control of something, but they don't. It's all in their head. They need to understand that they have no control at all, and they need to invite help. They need to ask for help from God. But this person doesn't believe in God. So it makes no sense. They're like a walking contradiction. I don't believe in God, but I'm going to do these moon rituals to try to fix what I fucked up. No, just stop doing them and ask your guides for help. Ask God for help. Ask the true power. You're looking for limitlessness in something that's very limited. This person needs to get grounded, and they need to understand divine love, that love is the answer, not control, not oppression, not jealousy, not envy. They're experiencing karma. And the fastest way to get to godliness is through gratitude. Every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up before work and I take 5 minutes to pray, and I say thank you for all my blessings. Thank you. I'm so grateful for all the guidance, all the love and support, because gratitude is the closest frequency you can get in physical form to God. This person needs to get their head out of their ass, and they need to close off their crown chakra by going into gratitude and asking for help outside of themselves from God. Okay, they cannot fix this situation with any magic or moon spells. They're not going to fix it themselves. This is the only thing that can be fixed, or that can fix this, is divine intervention. Okay. Okay. It definitely is reading these comments like, wow. That's okay. You know, haters need love too. Oh, thank you so much, Angel Guides. Thank you. I'm so grateful for you being here. Hey, haters need love too. If they're here, they're getting something. So that's all I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for that. I love the haters and the lovers. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. And remember, if you're going to do spiritual practices, it's not like this. It's like this. You have to do spiritual practice and then process the emotion, integrate it into your life, realize when it shows up, when it's trying to help you have a different reaction, and do it differently. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again and wondering why things don't change like this person. Be on a spiritual path, but be on a spiritual path because you want to be the best version of yourself, not because you want to be cool. Okay? Thank you so much, Spirit, for being with us. Bye, guys.